Namaste. Today I'm going to read Volume 1, Book 1, Vidyeshvara Samhita, Chapter 16, on the different modes of worship of clay idols and their results in the Shiv Puran. Om Vakratuna Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurve Sarvakaya Om Vakratundaya Janatanda. Hari Om Tat Sat. The sages said, O excellent one, please explain the rules of the worship of clay idols by following which all desired results will be achieved. Sutta said, you have requested for a very good thing. It bestows all wealth always. It suppresses misery instantaneously. I shall explain it. Please listen. Inwards of premature and foul death, it wards off premature and foul death, even a timely death it prevents. O Brahmins, it bestows womenfolk, sons, wealth, grains, etc. The worship of idols made of clay, etc. is conducive to the attainment of all cherished desires in the world. From it, the devotee derives food and other edible things, cloth, etc. Both men and women are authorized in this. The clay should be brought from the beds of rivers, lakes, or wells. It should be washed well and pasted with scented powder and milk. The idol should be made with the hands on a raised platform. All the limbs, joints, etc. should be perfectly shaped with the respective weapons of the deity concerned. It should be seated on Padma Asana, the lotus pose, and worshipped respectfully. The five deities, Ganesha, Sun, Vishnu, Parvati, and Shiva, shall be usually worshipped in their images, but a Brahmin shall always worship the phallic emblem of Shiva. In order to derive the full benefit of worship, the 16 forms of service shall be observed. The sprinkling of water over the idol shall be performed with flowers. The pouring of water shall be performed with mantras. The food offering shall consist of cooked rice of sali variety. In the worship conducted in the house, 12 handfuls of rice, kudava, shall be used. In the worship in a temple constructed by men, a prasta, a particular measure of cooked rice, shall be used. In a divine temple, 3 prastas of cooked rice shall be used. In the worship of self-risen image, 5 prastas of cooked rice shall be used. If thus used, it gives complete benefit. By using twice or thrice this quantity, the benefit shall be greater. By performing this worship 1,000 times, a Brahmin shall attain Satyaloka. A vessel made of wood or iron, 12 angulars in width, 24 angulars in length, and 16 angulars in height is called Shiva. An eighth part of it is called a prasta, and it is equal to 4 kundavas. If 1,000 or 1,000 prastas of water, oil, incense, etc. are used in temples of human construction, of saintly worship, or of self-risen idol, the worship is called Mahapuja. The ceremonial bath is conducive to the purity of the soul. The application of scented paste yields virtue. The food offering is conducive to longevity and gratification, and the incense yields wealth. The lighting of the lamp is conducive to knowledge, and the betel leaves are conducive to enjoyment. Hence, in all worships, these 6 items are scrupulously observed. Obeisance to the deity and repeated recitation of mantras accord all cherished desires. They must be observed at the end of the worship by men who seek both worldly enjoyment and salvation. At first, all items shall be gone through mentally, and then, item by item, every rite shall be performed. By the worship of deities, the devotee attains the different regions. In the subsidiary worlds, also there is an ample scope for enjoyment. O Brahmins, I shall narrate the special type of worship to which please listen with faith. By the worship of Ganesha, the devotee shall attain his wish in this world itself. The days of special worship of Ganesha are Fridays, the 4th day of the bright half of the lunar months of Shravana and Bhadrapada, and the Satabhishak, star of the month of Dhanus. He shall be worshipped duly on these days, or the devotee shall worship continuously for 100 or 1,000 days. As a result of the faith in the deity and in the fire, the worship yields sons or the different wishes to the devotees. It quells all sins and the various hardships. The worship of Shiva and others on their respective days of the week is conducive to the purity of soul. In regard to Kamya rites, the basis is either the Tithi or the star or the particular combinations of planetary positions. The day of the week is the basis for the worship of Brahman and others. There's no increase or decrease with respect to the days of the week as in regard to the Tithi, star, etc. A day is calculated from sunrise to sunrise. The worship of the deities on the respective Tithis, etc. is conducive to full enjoyment for the devotees. In regard to rites of the Manas, the earlier part must be in contact with the night previous. In the worship of deities, the latter part must be in conjunction with the day. If the Tithi extends to midday, that part of it which falls at sunrise shall be taken for the worship of the deities. So also in regard to the stars, hence a devotee shall consider all these aspects and proceed with the worship, repeated recitation of the mantras, etc. The word puja is thus derived. Pu means the achievement of the fruits of enjoyment. By the right, one achieves the fruits. Jayate means is born. Good ideas, knowledge, etc. also are included in this. The word puja is used in this sense amongst the people as well as in the sacred text. The daily and occasional rites yield their benefits in due course, but the fruits of Kamya rites are instantaneous. The necessary rites are performed every day. The occasional rites are performed in particular months, fortnights, years, or on special occasions. In the Kamya rites, one derives the fruits after the sin has been duly quelled. Mahaganapati Puja shall be performed on the Chaturthi day of the dark half of the lunar month. That rite wipes off the sin of the whole fortnight and yields enjoyment for full fortnight. The worship performed on the Chaturthi day of the lunar month of Chaitra accords benefit for a month. The worship performed the months of Simha and Bhadrapada accords enjoyment of worldly pleasures for a year. The worship of the sun shall be performed on Sundays or Saptami, 7th day, or in the star Hasta of the month of Shravana, or on the Saptami in the bright half of the month of Magha. The worship of Vishnu is conducive to the attainment of all desires and wealth if performed on Wednesdays, Dwadasi, 12th day, or in the star of Shravana in the month of Jyestha and Bhadrapada. The same worship in the month of Shravana yields all desired wishes and good health. Appropriation of Vishnu on the Dwadasi day yields the same benefit as is derived from the gift of the 12 things with ancillary rites. The devotee shall worship 12 Brahmins on the Dwadasi day, assigning them the 12 names of Vishnu with all the 16 forms of service. He shall gratify the deity thereby. Similarly, 12 Brahmins shall be worshipped after assigning them the 12 names of any deity to gratify that deity. The person who seeks prosperity shall worship Parvati, who bestows all worldly pleasures on Mondays, Navami, 9th day, and in the star of Marga Sirsas in the month of Karkataka. The Navami in the bright half of the month of Asvayuj accords all desired benefits. The worship of Shiva shall be performed on Sundays, Chaturdasi, 14th day of the dark half of the month of Magha on the Ardra star and on the Mahardra day. It accords all cherished desires. The worship is conducive to longevity, prevents premature death, and accords the achievement of everything. The worship of the different manifestations of Shiva with all 16 forms of service and homage on the Mahardra day in the month of Jyestha, on the Chaturdasi day, or on the Ardra day in the month of Margasirsa is on a par with Shiva's worship and yields worldly enjoyment and salvation. The worship of the first deity of the weekdays in the month of Kartika is specially recommended. When the month of Kartika has arrived, the sensible man shall worship all the deities by giving gifts and observing austerities, homas, japas, restraints, and the 16 forms of service. The idol shall be worshipped with mantras. Brahmins shall be fed. The devotee shall be freed of desires and distresses. The worship of deities in the month of Kartika yields all worldly pleasures, dispels all ailments, and removes the adverse effects of spirits and evil planets. The worship of the sun on Sundays in the month of Kartika, together with the gifts of gingerly, seeds, and cotton, alleviates leprosy, etc. By making gifts of haritaki, one of the myrobalans, chilies, cloth, milk, etc., and by installing Brahman, the alleviation of consumption is brought about. By making gifts of lamps and mustard seeds, epileptic fits are alleviated. The worship of Shiva on Mondays in the month of Kartika suppresses excessive poverty and increases prosperity. The worship of Skanda on Tuesdays increases prosperity. The worship of Skanda on Tuesdays in the month of Kartika and making gifts of houses, fields, domestic articles and utensils, lamps, bells, etc., the devotee gains eloquence without delay. The worship of Vishnu on Wednesdays in the month of Kartika, together with the gift of cooked rice with curds, yields good progeny. The worship of Brahman on Thursdays in the month of Kartika, and the gift of honey, gold, and ghee affords the increase of worldly pleasures. The worship of the elephant-faced Ganesha, together with the gifts of scented flowers, affords the enjoyment of worldly pleasures. Even a barren woman gets a good son, making gifts of gold, silver, etc. The worship of the guardians of the quarters, the elephants of the quarters, the serpents, the guardians of dams, the three-eyed, Rudra and Vishnu, the remover of sins, bestows perfect knowledge. The worship of Brahman, Dhanvantari, and of the 12 deities, Ashvins, alleviates ailments, prevents foul death, and suppresses all sickness instantaneously. Gifts of salt, iron, oil, pulses, trikatuka, fruits, scents, drinking water, etc., liquids in prasta measures, and solids in pala ways enable the devotee to attain heaven. The worship of Shiva and others early in the morning in the month of Dhanus enables the devotees to achieve everything gradually. The offering of eatables shall preferably be ghee-soaked rice of the sali variety and well cooked. The offering of various kinds of cooked rice is specially recommended in the month of Dhanus. The person who gives cooked food in the month of Margasirsa shall attain all desired benefits. The giver of cooked food in the month of Margasirsa shall attain destruction of sins, achievement of the desired objects, good health, virtue, good comprehension of the Vedic passages, good practices, great enjoyment here and hereafter, the permanent unification with the Godhead, and the realization of the perfect knowledge of the Vedanta. A person who desires enjoyment of worldly pleasures shall worship the deities early in the morning throughout the month of Margasirsa, or at least for 3 days. No one shall be without sacred rites in the month of Dhanus. Rites in Dhanurmasa, month of Dhanus, prescribed for the morning, can be performed up to the Sangava time, 3 muhurtas from sunrise. A Brahmin shall observe fast in the month of Dhanus and restrain all his senses. Till midday he shall repeat the Gayatri mantra. Till the time of going to bed he shall repeat the mantras such as the 5-syllabled one, etc. After acquiring perfect knowledge, he shall attain salvation after death. Other men and women shall repeat the 5-syllable mantra alone throughout and take 3 baths every day. They will attain perfect knowledge. They shall secure the annihilation of the great sins by repeating their favorite mantras. The great offering of eatables shall be made to Shiva, especially in the month of Dhanus. The constituent parts of the great offering are as follows: rice of the sali variety, a bhara by weight, pepper measuring a prasta, countable articles 12 in number, honey and ghee, a kudava, each a drona measure of green gram, 12 varieties of side dishes, cake fried in ghee, sweets made of salika rice, curd and milk, 12 prastas, each 12 coconuts, 12 betel nuts, 36 clove leaves, camphor powder, 5 saugandika, flowers, betel leaves. This great offering of eatables made to the deities shall be distributed among devotees in the order of their caste. A devotee who makes the offering of cooked rice becomes the lord of a kingdom in the world. But by making gift of great offering of eatables, a man attains heavens. O excellent Brahmins, by offering this 1,000 times, the devotee attains Satyaloka and lives the full span of life therein. By offering the 12,000 times, By offering this 12,000 times, he attains still higher world and is not born again. 26,000 great offerings constitute lifetime offering. Making gift of this is called great accomplishment. A devotee who makes this is not born again. In the month of Kartika, on an auspicious day, lifetime offering shall be made. It shall be done at the time of the transit of the sun, on birthdays based on star, on full moon days, annual birthdays, etc., in other months, when the natal star comes in conjunction with the planets. This can be performed. Even if the conjunction is only partial, the offering shall be made. One gets the benefit of dedicating oneself by that. Shiva is delighted by the dedication of selves and bestows the salvation of complete identity. This lifetime offering shall be made only to Shiva. Shiva exemplifies birth inasmuch as he has the form of both yoni, vaginal passage, and linga, penis. Hence, in order of births, the Janma Puja is of Shiva alone. The entire universe, consisting of the movable and the immovable, is of the nature of Bindu, dot, and Nada, sound. Bindu is Shakti, power, and Shiva is Nada. Hence, the universe is pervaded by Shiva and Shakti. Bindu is the support of Nada. The universe has the support of Bindu. Both Bindu and Nada together support the entire universe. The unification of the Bindu and the Nada is called Sakali Karana. And the universe takes its birth as a result of this Sakali Karana. The phallic emblem is the fusion of Bindu and Nada and is the cause of the universe. Bindu is the goddess and Shiva is the Nada. And the fusion of the two is the phallic emblem of Shiva. Hence, to ward off future births, the devotee shall worship the phallic emblem of Shiva. Goddess of the form of Bindu is the mother, and Shiva of the form of Nada is the father. Great bliss is the result of the worship of the parents. The devotee shall worship the phallic emblem for the acquisition of the great bliss. The goddess is the mother of the universe, and that Shiva is the father of the universe. Sympathy towards the son who renders service naturally increases in the minds of the parents. O foremost among sages, ordinary parents bestow hidden treasures to the son who renders special service. Hence, a devotee shall worship the phallic emblem in the manner of mother and father for the acquisition of the hidden great bliss. Bharga is Purusa, cosmic man or being, and Bharga is Prakriti, cosmic nature. Purusa is of hidden latent conception, and Prakriti is of manifest inner conception. Since it is the father who conceives first, the Purusa has the primordial conception. The unification of Purusa and Prakriti is the first birth. The manifestation in the Prakriti is called the second birth. The creature, dead even as it is born, takes up its birth from the Purusa. Certainly, the birth is induced by the Maya as an extraneous source. The word jiva, the individual soul, means that which gets decayed even from the time of death. Another meaning of the word jiva is that which is born enmeshed and entwined. Hence, the devotee shall worship the primordial phallic image for unraveling the knots and nooses of the birth. The word bhaga means the primordial nature because it increases and flourishes. The sabdamatra, etc., the cosmic sound principle, i.e., all objects of enjoyment, evolved out of Prakriti, being enjoyed by the sense organs. The word bhoga comes to mean that which gives bhaga. The principal bhaga is, of course, the Prakriti, and Bhagavan is Lord Shiva himself. The Lord alone is the bestower of enjoyment, bhoga, and not anyone else. Lord, who is the master of bhaga, is called bharga by wise men. The phallus is united with vagina, and vagina is united with phallus. For the sake of perpetual enjoyment here and hereafter, the devotee shall worship the phallic emblem, which is Lord Shiva himself. He is the sun giving birth and sustenance of the worlds. His symbol is justified in the coming into existence of things. Persons should worship Shiva, the cause of birth, in his phallic form. That which makes the Purusa known is called Linga. The symbol, the unification and fusion of the symbols of Shiva and Shakti, and thus called Linga. The Lord, delighted at the worship of his symbol, wards off the function of the symbol. That function being births, etc., cease. Hence the devotee shall worship the phallic emblem with the 16 forms of service and homage to acquire the benefit from Prakriti and Purusha through means inherent or extraneous. The worship thus performed on Sundays wards off births. The devotee shall worship the great phallic emblem on Sundays with the syllable Om. The ceremonial ablution of the phallic emblem with Panchagavya on Sundays is specially recommended. Panchagavya is the compound of cow's urine, dung, milk, curd and ghee. Milk, curd and ghee can severely be used with honey and molasses. The offering of rice cooked in cow's milk must be made with the syllable Om. The syllable Om, Aum, is Dhavani Linga. The Swayambhu Linga is Nada Linga. The Yantra diagrammic contrivance is Bhindu Linga. Syllable is the installed Pratistita Linga. Syllable is mobile Kara Linga, and the A syllable is a linga of huge form Guru Vigraha. A person who worships the lingas perpetually becomes liberated soul undoubtedly. A devout worship of Shiva liberates man from the bondage of births. A fourth benefit is achieved by wearing Rudraksha beads sacred to Shiva, and a moiety is achieved by smearing the holy ashes over the forehead. 3/4 can be achieved by the recital of mantras, and a man becomes full-fledged devotee by means of worship. A man who worships both the phallic emblem of Shiva, the devotees of Shiva attain salvation. O Brahmins, stable devotion can be found firmly established and flourishing only in that person who reads this chapter or listens to it attentively. Footnotes. Gaja Komeda is the elephant-shaped god Ganesha, the son of Shiva and Parvati. There is a variety of legends accounting for his elephant head. 81. One of the 11 names of Rudras, which has been variously interpreted. It represents the various triads on which the entire cosmos is based. It is both the deity and the three eyes, or the conscious principles of Jagrat, Swapna and Susupti, or Surya, Chandra and Agni, and also the son of three mothers, Amba, Ambika and Ambalika. These three sisters represent the three fires of the cosmic yajna, or the three mothers who create the three great principles of mind, life, and matter. 82. Dhanvantari, said to be the physician of the gods, was produced at the churning of the ocean with a cup of Amrita in his hands. He is the supposed author of the Ayurveda, the Indian medical science. 83. Ashvins, two Vedic deities, are represented as the physicians who ride in a golden car drawn by horses. Professor Golstakar thinks that the Ashvins represented two distinct elements, the cosmical and the human blended into one. The human element is represented by those legends which refer to the wonderful cures effected by them. The cosmic element relates to their luminous nature. It is more likely that there were some horsemen or warriors of great renown who inspired their contemporaries with awe by their wonderful deeds and more especially by their medical skill. 84. A collection of 5 kinds of aromatic vegetable substances viz. Cloves, nutmeg, camphor, aloe wood, and kakola. 85. Bindu is a dot over a letter representing the Anusvara. It is supposed to be connected with Shiva and is of great mystical importance. 86. Nada is a nasal sound represented by a semicircle and used as an abbreviation in mystical words. Here ends today's reading, the Shiv Puran. Om Prabhu Pradanatham Vyom Veshwanatham Jaganathanam Santapajam Bodhipatam Boyeshwam Bhodanatham Om Kapora Karam Karanavataram Sansarasaram Jagatanatham Om Jam Samur Sumdhamakami Jam Swamishti Swahom Sayacham Jayati Mangala Kali Putra Kali Om Tuya Mata Chapita Tuya Mandu Jasakatu Tuya Vidya Tabino Salamama Devate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.